you bring up Kirk Cousins, and that's definitely an option right there. I mean, he's making a ton of money, and he's entering the last year of his contract. Mm-hmm. So if Minnesota wants to move off of him and get something, this has to be the time. And there's a new coach coming in, so I don't know what, I know O'Connell has worked with him in the past, with the Redskins, the former Redskins. Right. But, yeah, that's definitely an option. And then you got Carson Wentz. I know Indy's not enamored with him, so that's another option that they may have where, maybe they make a move for Carson Wentz. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, all of these names, maybe with the exception of Deshaun Watson, who's a big question mark as far as if he even plays next year, with the exception of Deshaun Watson and maybe a Kyler Murray, all these other options pale in comparison to Aaron Rodgers. But so I see that as the most realistic scenario for number 12 if he indeed gets traded.
So now, can you see a situation? We haven't really heard it as much with the individual swaps, like one quarterback for one quarterback, but can you see the Packers try to maneuver that kind of thing because their roster is still very strong all the way around? Now, you're mentioning they have to probably shed some cap for the most part. We saw Aaron Jones and Kenny Clark restructure their contracts, but can you see a kind of thing where they maybe take on some extra draft picks and maybe still take a legitimate veteran quarterback rather than just jumping right to somebody like Jordan Love? Or do you think it's all because of Jordan Love? The
one-for-one trade that I would consider is Aaron Rodgers for Russell Wilson.
Okay.
That I'd be all for. You get the younger player, a player with Super Bowl experience, one of the top 5 or 6 quarterbacks in the league, in my opinion, in Russell Wilson. I would do that in a heartbeat. But I don't know how realistic that is. I mean, if you trade him to Denver, you're getting what? Drew Lock back? That doesn't interest me. Under that scenario where you get a veteran quarterback in return. So I think the Seattle trade would be something that I would really consider.
I heard that Tampa is heavily going after Russell Wilson. That's what I heard. They're willing to trade away a significant amount of draft stock to pull Russell Wilson away from obviously the Seattle Seahawks. If that happens, I'm very interested to see what they do with DK Metcalf, and are they going to start to rebuild that team? Pete Carroll is definitely coming back next year, and the GM is definitely coming back. Schneider, I think his name's Schneider,
yep,
right?
Just like the Dukes of Hazzard actor we had on the show. Same
Schneider,
thing. Yep.
Schneider is definitely coming back. So the rebuilding stages of this team before Pete Carroll decides to retire. I mean, he's the oldest coach right now in the NFL. I mean, it makes a lot of sense, but I can't see Aaron Rodgers wanting to go to a certain, I think there's like 2 or 3 cities he wants to go to. I cannot see him wanting to go to Seattle, knowing that he is leaving the Green Bay Packers. It doesn't make any sense to him on why he would do that. He might as well stay in Green Bay. It doesn't make sense. I think he wants to go to a team that is ready to win. Now, I don't think Seattle's ready to win. Their defense is horrible. They have one of the worst defenses in the league. Their offensive line, give me a break. He's going to die. I mean, seriously, this is a 38, 39-year-old quarterback that is one of the best quarterbacks of our era, one of the best quarterbacks still in the NFL. If he is the best quarterback in the NFL right now, why would he want to go to Seattle and take a back seat when he's been even with the Packers? To me, I think has a lack of talent offensively, and he just makes that team so much better. I mean, why would he go to one team and not stay where he is? It doesn't make any sense. I can't see him accepting that.
Well, the difference between Russell Wilson and Aaron Rodgers is I think Russell Wilson has a no trade clause, whereas Rodgers doesn't. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, but you're right about that. I mean, you talk about some other destinations. Tampa Bay would look a lot better for Aaron Rodgers if he's looking to win now, which he is. I mean,
they don't have any secondary wide receivers over there in Tampa anymore. I mean, Chris Godwin's going to be gone, so they're going to be trying to replenish their wide receiving core too. They only have one. They have Evans there, a sure thing. Everybody else, I mean, are you scared of anybody that's there? I mean, Wilson, we saw him there, against the Jets. I mean,
well, what about the Commanders? I mean,
that makes sense. That makes sense.
I mean, they're building a good young defense. And they got some good running backs, and actually McLaurin is really coming on as one of one of the top receivers in the league.
Tremendous draft stock too. Tremendous draft stock.
So maybe that's a possibility over there, but we're just talking hypotheticals here. I don't think the Packers want to trade him, but I don't know. I mean, stranger things have happened.
The other end of this Packers free agency and trade talks too is, are they trying to prep for Jordan Love if they do end up going for Aaron Rodgers? Are they trying to shed the way to make him the quarterback? Now, he was inactive in a lot of games this year. Now, you think that's something deliberate that the Packers did, saying, okay, we're going to rest him where we're not going to get him hit? Say if Aaron Rodgers gets hurt, we're not going to expose him right into the fire like that? Or do you think there is actually a concern where a lot of people think, okay, maybe he's not ready yet, and going forward, that could be a problem for them?
Well, as far as Jordan Love goes, he played in that Kansas City game that Rodgers sat out and for COVID reasons. And then he played the second half of the Detroit game, which is the last game of the regular season. And in both instances, Jordan Love did not show really any potential of being that, franchise quarterback that's going to step in and play as the starter for the next 12 to 15 years. I mean, kid's got the size and athletic ability, but, you rush him, you blitz him, he just makes bad decisions. He makes bad throws. I mean, it's been 2 years now, you see these quarterbacks that come into the NFL, if they're any good within a year or two, you're going to know it. It's been 2 full seasons now.
Usually the end of second year, third year, you see a difference, a huge difference, a huge jump.
I mean, I don't think the Packers are ready to give up on him, but let's face it, you don't have a great quarterback class in this upcoming draft. And so if the Packers were willing to take a 3rd-round pick for him, I would have to think about it. If I'm going to re-sign Rodgers and I'm going to extend his contract and he's going to retire with the team, then, I mean, what am I doing with Jordan Love? How long is he going to wait then at that point? It's not fair to him at that point. So I would start listening to offers.
We are talking to Leader News editor, writer for Pack to the Future and Packers Talk, Ralph Mancini. And Jeff over here on the board says, oh, yeah, Tampa don't have talent. Scotty Miller, Tyler Johnson, and Cyril Grayson, all 3 guys, without Tom Brady, are nothing to sneeze about. If you think they're 3 big names that are good players, I mean, it's ridiculous. Are they anywhere in the realm of Mike Evans or Chris Godwin or even Antonio Brown? Are you kidding me? I love you, Jeff, but bringing up those names doesn't really scare me. Okay?
Hey, don't forget Cameron Brate.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
No, I'm not talking about their tight ends. They have some good talent over there. O.J. Howard is good. I mean, they have some good, talented tight ends. But
he's right though. He probably started on 20 other teams like that. Brate.
I'm not talking about. I'm talking about the wide receiving core that they have over there. I don't think they have much to sneeze at. So my question for you is, you look in this offseason, not even with the Packers. We're talking about the quarterbacks. This is probably the best free agency market we have seen in the NFL in the last 5 years. And there are a lot of teams that have a lot of money. The Packers, not one of them, but there are quite a few teams that are a player or 2 players away. They have the money, a.k.a. the Baltimore Ravens, who have the most money. They have a good draft stock this year. They're maybe 2-3 players away going into the season this year where they could be a Super Bowl contender. Do you see anybody taking a leap this offseason, bringing in some young talent, obviously in the draft, and superstar free agents that can take them over the hump?
Well, I'm looking at some cap numbers right now, and I see Cincinnati is going to have a lot of money to spend.
Yep, the Jets.
So I mean, why wouldn't any free agent want to go to Cincinnati when you have Joe Burrow there for the next 15 years playing quarterback if he stays healthy, of course. But I mean, to me, they just came off of nearly winning a Super Bowl, and so I mean that's the first place I'd look if I were a free agent. And then you got the Chargers are up there too with a lot of cap money. I think
Speedy's
it's
favorite.
Oh yeah, yeah. The Chargers won't spend that money.
That's a team that could be 1 or 2 pieces away. With the kind of quarterback they have. I know they're playing a tough division, but I mean, heck, I don't know. I mean, if I'm a skill position player, I would definitely want to play there for sure.
You followed me on Twitter since we had the first interview. I don't know if you've ever seen my tweets. I do call them the least clutch team in football because they always find the weirdest ways to lose.
And unfortunately, I think that's because of their coaching. Even between last year and even this year, they made some bad coaching decisions late in games, and but that's not to take away from their talent level. In terms of what their roster looks like, and if I'm a free agent receiver tight end, I mean, I would run to the Chargers.
So my question in reference to free agency too is, now you look at the Bengals, the way they rebuilt the defense essentially in 2 years, the guys that never played together. So a lot of times you look at trying to manage the money. The Bengals now have the money too, and they look for quality over quantity, but they can still make that kind of thing work. Do you think teams like the Bengals and even other contending teams like we were mentioning are going to push for more depth as a whole in today's NFL rather than just trying to go for one player and hoping the other pieces can align like that? Because teams are rotating players more often than ever before.
You're right about that. I think that inevitably, though, I mean, you're going to get like the top, let's say 10 to 12 or 10 to 15 free agents. They're going to be some of those guys, or most of those guys are going to get overpaid. Those are the guys that are going to go right off the board. And then there's going to come a little bit of a period where you're going to see a lot of those mid-tier guys, good players, not great players, that could serve as depth. And so, yeah, I could see that happening too. And then the other thing is that, and in 2024, this salary cap is supposed to go up significantly. And so, you even got those teams that kick the can down the road. In 2024, there's going to be a windfall there, and some teams could be thinking that way too. So, but yeah, you're right. I could see some teams doing that, just not getting that one big gem, but getting maybe 5 or 6 really decent players in this free agent class.
Ralph, last question for me, and I'm going to ask you a few questions. Flipping a coin right now. I'm going to give you names. You tell me, are they going to be with the Packers? Are they going to be with respectable teams moving in next year? You ready?
Sure.
All right. Aaron Rodgers, is he with the Packers or with another team?
I say he's either with the Packers or he's going to retire.
Okay, so you're saying Packers are bust. Okay.
Yes.
Russell Wilson, is he with the Seattle Seahawks or another team?
I'm going to say he sticks with Seattle.
Devontae Adams, does he stay with the Packers or he plays for another team?
I think Green Bay is going to find a way to keep him in Green Bay.
Kyler Murray, is he with Arizona or is he playing for another team?
Well, based on what you told me now, boy, I could see a team like Tampa Bay or Denver maybe making a big offer for him.
Derek Carr.
I'll say he ends up elsewhere.
Derek Carr with Josh McDaniels. Is he?
No way. Derek Carr stays put.
Okay,
he's an ascending quarterback, still young.
Okay. Speedy, you have any other players that you have questions for him?
All right, let's do the 2 receivers that are on the trade block too. We already did Devontae Adams, Calvin Ridley, and DK Metcalf.
Calvin Ridley, I think, is definitely going to end up elsewhere. He doesn't like the organization. I think that's an unfixable situation.
And DK Metcalf, do you see him stay with Seattle or he gets traded?
I think if Russell stays, I think DK stays too.
That's what I think too. Anyways, Mr. Mancini, we really appreciate you joining us. As always, we won't wait this long to get you on again, I promise you. Why don't you tell the fans how they can find you on social media?
Absolutely. So at Reverend Ralph is where you can find me on Twitter. And all I tweet about is football, a lot of Packers stuff, but also a lot of NFL stuff as well. So, guys, if I don't talk to you before the draft, enjoy that. Enjoy free agency. It was great talking to you both.
Absolutely. Let's hope the Jets have a good offseason. That's for sure.
Yep. Hey, I'm a New York guy, so I'm all for that.
We hope. I mean, so far so good with Zach Wilson in the second half. Let's see it more. Let's see more development in this coming year, and shows us that he is the franchise moving forward. Because Sam Darnold definitely isn't. That's for sure.
Oh, unfortunately, yeah.
No. Ralph, thank you.
All right. Take care, guys.